Hey guys, what's up? I'm back online. I'm Williams from CSharp and Engineering Walkthroughs. And this is going to be a pretty chill stream as usual, guys. Hold on a second while I just update the chat. I just want to put a little message there. And then we get started. Just my Telegram link. Okay. How are you all doing? So, it's gonna be a very chill stream. I would like to continue from where I tapered off a couple days ago. I don't think I streamed yesterday, so a couple days ago when I last streamed, and I don't even remember what I was doing 2 days ago, honestly, with the stream. So, what I do know is what I was working on today. But to preface this particular workshop, I've been working offline. I've been working off stream. Because there's a few bugs and some more functionalities that I had to actually implement, such as I need to consider like simple physics, simple jumping physics for my Metroidvania game, traversal physics, so moving left and right, and everything here on the screen is so placeholder right now, and I must say that the performance of the game does suffer with the fact that my OBS is running in the background. When I have my laptop fresh, like the frame rate is quite smooth. Right now it's really choppy, so don't expect like 120 frames per second right now coming out of my game. I might run the game without debug flags, such that it can run a little bit more smooth. But I have a few things working, but there's some glaring bugs. There's some bugs I need to fix. So the bugs are particularly with the jumping mechanic. So let me just show you some of the parallax scrolling stuff first. So again, it's just not that smooth. So it's not she didn't parallax. There's actually an invisible barrier. When she breaches the invisible barrier, then she locks in a parallax style. So I'm going to keep running to the right. And there we go. The parallax barrier is somewhere around here. I coded it in the back end. I guess I could expose it using debugging. In the sense that I could have like a rect struct at the same position, and then I can go into like full-on debug mode so I can see all the constraints. I might have to do that because I've been having some issues with the boundaries of like floor collisions. I attempted to implement floor collisions such that she actually collides with the floor. She can fall off the ground if she goes off a cliff or something, or she jumps in the air. This is I'm getting issues, so I'm gonna just run a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, the performance will be not great. Maybe I can try and improve that, or maybe cancelling some of my background applications. Excuse me. If I attempt to jump, you're gonna see where I'm stuck on right now, where I'm trying to work on. So I'm gonna press up on my WASD, on my WASD, press W. As you can see, she kind of gets suspended in the air. She sort of like goes back a few steps, and she just kind of floats there. So we've got an issue. We're gonna try and fix it. And when I try and traverse to the right, she continues on the path. So as far as I'm aware, her coordination system when I'm going right seems to be intact, but as soon as I jump, it gets broken. I mean, her jumping animation now is showing. I think I have an idea why she's not going back into the air. I have a counter, which is not. I have a counter that's not incremented back to 0, which kind of like limits her height, her altitude. And so she's just playing the jump animation itself without actually going up because I maxed it out. So I'm going to cross that out. We're going to see what we can do to kind of fix the jump animation. Oh, better said, her jumping mechanic in this particular workshop. Guys, if you're interested, if you're on Telegram, check out my D&D Mastermind forum. That's my .NET Developer Mastermind forum. That's the QR code over there on the right. Starting from tonight, British summertime, so I say tonight because we're kind of in the evening. I'm going to start updating the D&D Mastermind forum with some posts. I'm going to start regularly. In the chat, you can find my tag. Feel free if you want to chat to me about tech, software, any tips you might want, advice on .NET development. If like, especially in the game development space, I'm focusing a lot on the game dev stuff. So if you want to chat games dev using .NET, definitely hit me up on my direct message on Telegram. Otherwise, you can join the forum. You can subscribe to the channel, the Telegram channel that is, via the QR code over here. I'm gonna leave it there for a while. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down because I have a value. Now this is a magic number for now because I wanted to just kind of make a quick solution, but I'm basically saying when she gets to an altitude count of 25, she should stop going up. She should stop jumping. And I'm not resetting that to 0, so I think that's why she gets stuck in the air. So it's going to be a lot of testing in this particular episode, I reckon. So I suppose once she's out of this precondition, which evaluates for 25, that variable, jump frame count, increments by 1. So as soon as I'm out of this, the scope of this particular if statement, I guess I should reset her jump frame count to 0. I'm just kind of going by feel a little bit, so... Oh, whoops. So main jump frame count equals to 0. I'm kind of suspicious about this. I don't know if this is the right place to do it, but because I've been having so much trouble with the jump mechanic, I'm kind of just like testing things step by step and just literally playing the game and seeing what happens. So I'm going to try and run without debug flags because I want to attempt to run the game a little quicker. My app, my program. Hopefully Visual Studio won't be too slow, even though I've got so many background applications. Should be okay. I'm considering making another little quick series on the channel where it's games development but with just XAML. So XAML with the front end for any of us who might be interested in looking at how to make a game, but without using Win2D, you know, just kind of using raw XAML, raw CSharp. Let me know if that's something you want to see, because I'm considering making a very quick mini series. I don't suppose it'll take me too long. I've got a game concept fleshed out, like a kind of like casual puzzly kind of style game genre, I guess, for my game. So maybe in a session or two I can get it wrapped up. But that's going to be like a mini series I would like to do. Let me know if that's something you want to see. I'm going to go ahead and hit build scene. She's running a bit better now. Let me see. I'm going to run forward. I'm going to invoke parallax. It says she's parallax scrolling. Now if I hit jump, what's going to happen? I don't know. Okay, so now she just flies infinitely into the air. And when I run, she's back on the ground. And then she kind of, she warps back up there. Kind of fast travels back up to where she was. So something is definitely not right. That's about the altitude of her jump. So what did we change? We reset her jump frame to 0. Huh. So if her jump frame is 0, that means this is always holding true. And because this is holding true, what this block of code does, it actually just parallaxes her vertically. So we have to be careful with our preconditions. But I still think this should remain at 0, because that frame count can't just stay at 25 max. But I need to look at my validation and my preconditions to make sure I'm encapsulating the functionalities properly. This precondition is for the frame count. Then I have this state called airborne, because I wanted to kind of disambiguate between jumping, initializing my jump, and her just being airborne. So that's another state I included earlier. Target scene team agent, that's her. So this is passed as a parameter for the function, for the camera function. Her Y parameter is passed here. And I don't really have a Wacom with me, so I can't really use my sketchboard very well. So it'd be really a lot more simpler if I sketched it out for you guys as I did on paper. I have some paper notes. Don't know if you can see, and I sketched out a schematic of what's going on when she jumps and stuff, and the floor collisions, and it's really helpful for me. But I don't want to do it without you guys not seeing. Okay, so I think an extra precondition might be what I need, but I do want to avoid using flags a lot. I have a gravity flag that basically says if gravity should, or when gravity shouldn't be invoked. I don't know how I feel about the gravity flag. I was taking Copilot's advice. Copilot gave me a good consideration. I don't know where it is. but Copilot was talking about having some gravity flags. I was like, oh, gravity flags. And I thought that might be a good idea for a particular, like, I can't remember what happened. So, put the gravity flag. Oh yeah, because a collision flag with the floor. Because I was going to do a thing where there's an up thrust value counteracting gravity to create a floor. But I thought it might be better, instead of incrementing my player up against the floor, why don't I just snap her to a particular position, i.e. the floor bounds. She can like literally snap to the floor bounds as you would expect. And that's something Copilot, the AI agent, actually helped me understand. So I took that piece of advice. Quite interesting there. But I'm still getting bugs with my logic. So where was I? So if I'm in the jump state, looking at my precondition, if I'm in the jump state, or if I'm airborne, I don't really like that, but I'm gonna roll with it. If my target's agent Y, so the Y parameter, is less than the camera bounds up Y, mind you guys, that we're not dealing with like Cartesian coordinates in the general sense. But when we deal with this kind of coordinate system for like UWP, instead of it being like 0 going across, and then like, so maybe that's like, I don't know, 1920 pixels. And then in the y-axis, let's just say it's like 1080 pixels. And for UWP, when you're drawing stuff, so let me just take a bit of a note. Cartesian coordinate system. Just really just taking liberties with this sketch. It's funny because what UWP does is the y-axis is kind of inverted. So it's not from the bottom left, up and right. It's actually from the top left of the screen, and the y-axis increments going down. It's very strange, but I guess it's just the way it is. So it's like this. So if I were to put Valkyrie at a position 0, 0, and this is our screen dimension, she will actually be placed around here at 0.0 rather than here. And when you increment in the Y value, she goes down physically across the viewport. Something to just consider if you're not aware of that. I think there is a MSDN about that. Let me see if I can find it off screen. I'll put it for you guys. If it doesn't take too long, I'll try and find the documentation that talks about that, because it's really interesting actually. Just off screen, Google. I'm gonna hit MSDN. Well, MSDN is now Learn Microsoft. And while Google is loading off screen, I'm going to look at my code. Ah, we're back. Okay, so UWP Cartesian coordinates. Let me see if I can find the article. I think I found a useful document for this. I don't know. I think I'm right. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is. I mean, that's what I've been going for so far, and like things are pretty cohesive. There was a particular diagram. I can't find it. Represents Cartesian left hand, right hand, both hand, left hand. You can remember which direction. Left hand, right hand, coordinate system. This is for Direct 3D. I think it might be the same. Left-handed coordinate system. Maybe this is for something else. Because the Y is still going up. Let me just double check if I can find it. So yeah, the y-axis is inverted, so something to, you know, bear into account, as it says here. For XAML controls and UI.xaml, the y-axis is inverted, so instead of going up, it goes down. If I'm not mistaken. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys in case you're wondering, oh, why am I incrementing when I should be decrementing? Why am I post-decrementing when I should be post-incrementing? It's because of this. For layout and rendering, UWP uses 2D Cartesian plane with one major difference from standard mathematics: the y-axis is inverted. Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out. So I need to bear that into mind when I'm dealing with my algorithm. So what's actually going on here? So target scene agent Y, parallax camera bounds up Y. So I'm basically trying to say, if my target scene agent, let's say she's over here, say Valkyrie, if she's about here on the viewport, if she's underneath, if her Y value is less than the camera bounds, then I should invoke her jumping parallaxing subroutine. Less than being like this, because we're using the XAML version of coordinate system, not the Cartesian coordinate system traditionally speaking. So in this situation, if Valkyrie is, trying to jump up, and if Valkyrie breaches her jump, let's say jump Y barrier, and just like that, then I want to invoke the parallaxing effect. So she has to be less than this value. So I think that is going on. It's just when I'm at the apex, why is gravity not coming back down? So I'm going to run the program again. I'm going to do a few more tests. It's British summertime here, and I'm sweating. Yeah, I'm wearing a shirt. I'm layered up as I like to do. But yeah, I'm sweating, guys. It's so hot here. It's only like, I say only, it's 30 degrees. I don't know how hot it is where you guys are. England's not the warmest country, and we've been having some tropical storms recently too. So don't mind me if I just wipe my face. It's just super hot here. So I'm going to conduct a couple more tests. I'm going to see if I can fix my jumping system. Wait, I'm just waiting for UWP to load up. UWP's taking a minute. There we go. So I'm going to attempt to run across the screen a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to jump and see where the bug is happening again. So there's the infinite jumping thing. Okay. Debug this a little bit. So at this point, I want to see what's going on here. Okay, so I hit my 25 barrier, my altitude barrier for her jump. Maybe this is a naive thing I'm doing here. So frame count is equal 0. What's her player state? Is she still on jump? Because she should be airborne. Maybe I should put it as airborne down or something. See if I can expose that value. So she's airborne. I've set her to airborne. Yeah. Jump frame count is 25. I'm going to step through this. So at this point, intuitively, I want gravity to be applied. So maybe I need to include that flag up to true. This is one of the gravity flags I mentioned earlier. I don't really like using the flags because of context mix-ups and stuff. But for now, I'm just doing it because it's the way I started it out. So in my collision system, actually better said, my gravity system should be taking care of her coming back to ground level. If gravity applied is true, that is, and it's false. So maybe I should set this flag to true, because what this flag does, it should actually indicate when gravity should and shouldn't be applied, which should be an intuitive thing. But I'm gonna just keep it this way again. I'm gonna stick with the flag so far. So I'm gonna tell my program apply gravity basically. So maybe I should change the name of the flag, but for now it's fine. This is a Boolean variable, gravity applied. I guess parallaxing needs to be applied as well. It'd be the same as the block above. But in reverse, I suppose. Player world coordinates, player viewport coordinates, background and such. So gravity applied is true, and I return the function. Where are my world coordinates? Just want to step through a little bit more and see what's going on here. So the kind of like the logic flow here for my update is camera, gravity, collisions. I don't even know if that's the best order to do things. So now I'm checking for gravity. Let me just wait for Visual Studio. If gravity applied, which should be true now, so I should be applying gravity to Valkyrie. Her viewports and her world parameters are being updated, but now I need her visuals to also be updated. Her visuals I might not be updating her visual. Now I'm checking for collisions. There shouldn't really be any collisions until she hits the ground. This block basically controls when she collides with floor boundaries. So I'm gonna try and see if I step through. So apparently she's on the ground and she shouldn't be. Let me see what the parameters are. Maybe my boundaries are wrong. Oh, hold on a minute. If I'm checking, because here I'm checking for her boundary across the floor in the X plane. Here's apparently on the Y plane, but why is this X? Maybe that should be Y. Maybe that's why I'm getting some problems here. Because floor boundaries, if I look at the list, I've only programmed one floor in the back end. It's a vector 4, so it's W, X, Y, and Z. And the way it works is the left boundary of the X and Y is sorry, it's so hard to describe. I need to draw it out. I'm not going to try and describe it, but I'm using a vector 4 because it does get a bit weird. But am I using the right parameter? Let me see. WX. These two values pertain towards the Y, even though it says X. I think that's why I'm being confused. Gotta make sure I'm using the right parameters. 0 is the is the farthest left of the screen. 500 is the limit on the x-axis, W, for my floor boundaries. 740 pertains towards the y value upper limit, which happens to be the inverted y-axis, and 770 is the lower is the 770 pertains to the lower limit of the ground boundary with the inverted y-axis, so it really gets confusing. So when I say x, I'm actually talking about, I'm using this x variable, which is just a name. It doesn't have to pertain towards the x value itself, to this 740. But why is gravity applied false here? That's what I don't get. I get it because it's like she's colliding with the ground, so I'm turning off my gravity flag. What I don't get is why this is firing. This is firing when she's above the ground. I need to see what my floor boundaries are again, and I need to compare the floor boundaries with where Valkyrie actually is. Pertaining towards 740, that's the limit. So she needs to be above 740. So if her Y value is higher than 740, then collision should invoke. So target scene agent X, she's at 500, so she's above ground right now. This shouldn't be invoking collision. I'm not sure what's going on here. So, oh no, but I was looking at the wrong thing. Sorry guys. Target scene agent Y, her Y value is 747.5. Floor boundary. So indeed, she should be snapping back up because she's above 740. I'm trying to step through this really carefully. So I'm not even post-incrementing or decrementing her Y and X here. I'm just setting her, I'm snapping her to the Y value of the floor. WXY, which is 770. I actually want this one, so it has to be X. I got confused. Her value's wrong there. X pertains to the upper floor limit. I'm gonna check that, I'm gonna double check that. So X is 500. I got that wrong, didn't I? I did get it wrong. It is Y. 740, yep, got it wrong. I'll just expose the list again next time, it's just easy to see. So Y is 740. Y and Z is 740. Let me double check my other one. X is 500. That's across the screen. So I've actually gotten my parameters wrong. I got confused. WXYZ. So I'm going to change that X to Y. I'm going to check the floor boundaries going across to make sure that's correct. That should be 0. W0. And that should be X, not Z. Z is the Y plane. I know I'm confusing you guys. I'm sorry. 500, so I think that should be X. I'm going to probably restart the program. But first I want to still continue to observe my logic flow, because I'm a little bit wary about my jump algorithm. So that's all the floor boundaries, so I can come out of collisions. Now I'm going to check the camera. So all this will get bypassed because I'm not on walking right state. My move state should be on jump or airborne. I think it's airborne. Lost jump frame count 0. Oh gosh. So she's gonna be jumping in the air now. So I need to validate. I need to use validation to protect the fact that I may have reset her jump count. Oh, maybe her jump count should go to 0 only when she touches the floor. No, it should be at max. but I need a stronger level of validation so that I'm only increasing this number when she's in the jump state, not in airborne state. Because jump is when I invoke the jump. That's how I can do it. Let's hope I can get this to work, guys. Because jump is only invoked when I hit W for the first time, and after that it's all airborne. So I'm gonna put 2 ampersands, and I'm gonna check for her jump state. So this should hopefully bypass. Before it wouldn't, because jump count is below 25, so this would have just gone straight to parallaxing her infinitely. But I think I would have bypassed it now. Let me see what happens. Yeah, bypassed it. That's quite good to know. Until I hit W again, she should jump. Jump frame count is still 0. Gravity applied is true, so she needs to be going back to the ground. So I'll run the... actually, no. I'm going to stop the program, reset it, because everything's jank right now. Okay. Restart the program. So I'm just waiting for Visual Studio. Visual Studio just taking a little minutes. Okay. That build has started. Good. I'm a little concerned about the view. I think my back-end data is being updated, at least now, but it's like the parallaxing view itself, I think might be off by a little bit. Have to see what happens once the program loads. My deploy has started. Okay, I have a breakpoint that just tripped, so I'm gonna get rid of my breakpoint and I'm gonna try and continue. Just kind of weird, my update shouldn't be firing. That's why I put a try catch there. Sometimes my update will just fire ahead of my resources loading. It's kind of weird. Think about another breakpoint there. Press, I'm gonna resume. I'm gonna run forward a little bit. I'm gonna try and jump, see what happens. Okay, I keep getting breaks. What happened? Oh, she's falling through the ground. Okay, this is kind of... Okay, I need to see that without the break point. But I think I might have something here. I think the floor boundary is quite small, even though the background, so don't be deceived by the visual on the background. The background image, the sprite of the cave, has nothing to do with what's actually going on with the world physics. I'm just mapping them one-to-one, like as close to one-to-one as possible. So the fact she fell through the ground just meant my boundary has to be, the floor itself has to be increased in terms of the back end. Let me see, what did I put the floor boundary? I think the floor boundary is like 500 pixels. So new floor boundary X, or WX, 500, yeah. I'm going to increase it so she can keep running, but it's good news. In fact, before I increase it, I'm gonna just run the program again to just have a little look. I think I ran off the floor boundary. I'll increase it to like 2000 pixels or something. So she so she doesn't just like sink through the beginning of the floor. I want to observe her jump first, make sure she's landing and stuff. I'm gonna build my scene. Whew, okay. Now, I'm gonna try and run forward. Performance of the app is not great. But again, I got like OBS running, tons of background stuff. Okay, that was really weird. Oh, I went off screen. Ah, okay, I did it again. Was that the 500 pixel thing? Let me just try and jump in place and see what happens. And then I'll increase that 500 to like a larger amount. Try and run forward a little bit. I'll try and jump. Okay, again, something. What I like and what I don't like about Valkyrie's jump, I like that she landed, she's grounded. But what I don't like is that it seems her jump isn't invoking, and I think it's something to do with the jump limit. The altitude limit is being hit as soon as I jump or something. Let me see. I was wary about the jump altitude limit. Let me see. What coordinates? I think I'm stepping in the right direction. Ah, it's because she's airborne. I see, not in the jump state. Am I using this airborne thing anywhere else? If not, I can just get rid of it. Am I evaluating for airborne? If not, I'm just going to get rid of it. It's actually a complexity. Decisions. Let me try and comment that out. Because I know this line is blocking my precondition. So why don't I take out my line blocking my precondition and see what happens? I'll observe the results. Okay, I'll build my scene. She's just floating up indefinitely. But she isn't snapping back, which is good news. But the floor boundaries aren't right. She's infinite jumping. Let me see if she's gonna drop. Yeah, she's dropping. As expected. So what do I do here? Jump frame count is 25. Otherwise, she needs to go back down to ground. Jump frame count is 0. It returns on that bit. Maybe I've got an idea. I don't know. Gravity applied is true. How do I ground her, man? Why is he not going down? New state jump. This is redundant here because I'm already evaluating for a jump. I don't need to do it twice. I should be using limits. I should be using like aerial boundary or something. Tricky. Should be true because she comes down. Let's do for collision inspection. For the range of floor boundary, which is 1. I'm not sure these are right. Something's wrong. Actually, you're right. I'm using the same one. Yeah, it's in the collision. This flag worries me. It really does worry me, this gravity flag. I'm about to get rid of it. I'm not checking for anything yet regarding gravity applied except for the gravity routine. I want gravity to be a perpetual force, so I'm going to comment this gravity flag out. I think having a gravity flag is actually a complexity. Gravity is going to be perpetual where it's relevant. For now, let's see if I can get that right. Even unreachable code. want to run forward and jump. Now she's not even moving, but she's panning, just not going up. I'm going to use debug mode for this. Jump. So it must be her jump frame count is like above 25 or something. The back end updated. No, it didn't. So why is she not parallaxing? Good. She's super weird. She's definitely gone off screen in terms of the back end data. 800. Make sure I'm incrementing these values correctly. Let me see. To draw this out on paper. 5,700. The reach is good. She's less. You have to bring her back down. So she needs to post increment. Background. The background needs to post increment, I think. World coordinates need to post decrement. She's going back down. Why is it increment? It's really easy to mess this up. I think, let me see. Her viewport. She needs to physically go down on the viewport, which is an incrementation. Oh, but it's parallax, so she's locked in again. Oh, I think I'm doing this right. Jump state. So the background going up, and she's jumping up. She needs to be going upwards. It's just a minus increment. Boundary is just absurd for some reason. She keeps going up. Am I passing the right values for my target C1? Let me see. Second parameter, my second overload. Man, it's so warm here. Hope it's not as warm here as where you guys are. Camera for play viewport Y, so it should be okay. But is that the right variable? Don't I have a list? Let's see. This is where things might be going wrong. here, I'm passing in her y value as a variable. But here I have a list of agent values. Is it the same? If it's not, then I have an issue. Number two pertains to Valkyrie. But ideally I want to use the same set of variables. I might have something going wrong with that. I think I'm using a list for the collision system, and it's got a different set, 740. But for here, her y value is completely different, it's 5,000, so I've got something wrong there. So I'm going to pass the same variable list here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to grab this, player asset index, and I'm going to put her y value. I'll change x to y. Oh, I did that wrong, didn't I? No, I did it right. Second parameter is the y value. I got the purple underline, so I have to restart my program. Okay, so I had two sets of variables for her y position, so I think my program was getting confused. That's why she was like snapping. If you go back to the earlier part of this video, the stream, when this video is archived, when I was moving to the right, she was like snapping. No, when she was moving up, she was snapping back, or she was snapping back down, and that's because I had two sets of y values. I was looking at the wrong place. So now I've done it so that it's one set of y values. They weren't accurate. So hopefully I'm one step closer to fixing my jump routine. I was wondering why her value was like 5,000. Even though she just moved a little bit. I was getting very confused. I still have to check. Forward, I'm going to try and jump. She's still infinite jumping. Is she going to scroll to the right? Yes. Infinite jump? Yep. Scroll to the right. So everything is kind of there except for the gravity bit. And she snaps back down, so maybe I'm using the wrong set of values somewhere again. So she's snapping back down somehow when she's out of bounds. So there's no precondition protecting my gravity. As long as gravity is called, gravity is being invoked. That's what I want. And I want gravity to be counteracted by floor collision. So I want to make sure my values are right. So gravity is a certain speed, depending on gravity. Agent viewport, agent world. A viewport. Tricky functionality. Viewport. should be using this value, I think. Not this, as I did earlier, the mistake I made. So upon collision, I'm not updating her x value. So why don't I try using the list value of x, not whatever I put up there on my global script. Yeah, this process, this subroutine has to be approached very carefully. And I snap to the floor boundary Y position. Run the program again. What I'm doing is like unglamorous coding. A lot of coding is unglamorous. There's no glamorous coding. Ah, goodness. This is the reality, guys. She's jumping at 2 frames a second. Excellent. She's running. Now, is she going to snap back down below the ground? Yeah, she is. Too much points. Angle the camera. I still think it has something to do with my jump count frame index. If jump frame count is less than 25, increment, and I stop incrementing, else 0, but then the loop continues. So now that it's 0, I'll be less than 25 again. Gosh, it's so confusing. Is it on the way up? That's actually infinite jumps. It's 25, 0, 25, 0. I want it to be 0 up until she hits the ground again, and I hit jump. That's why I made the airborne state. I'm gonna bring it back, guys. Now what if I change it to jump on? So I'll get there. So if the jump count is less than 25, I switch to airborne. Otherwise I switch to 0. I feel like I should have airborne down. Again, I'm probably complicating this. But if every directional movement is accounted for, left, right, idle, then maybe in the air, every direction should be accounted for. You know, airborne up, airborne down. That's what I think. So I'm gonna say airborne up for her jump. Air. Oh my gosh. Born left. Air. Born right. Air. Born. because I'm on the way up here. But at this piece of logic, she's an airborne down. I have this enumerated list, this enumerated object gets updated. So now that she's airborne down, I'm not invoking the upward visual. It's only for airborne up. Oh, I didn't check for it. Because I've reintroduced this, I need to update this bit here. New state of airborne up. Huh. Move state, airborne up. Checking it twice for some reason. No, I'm not, I'm just setting it, okay. As soon as she's airborne down, none of this is relevant. Oh, is it a simple, oh my gosh, I think I know what I did wrong. Let me try. Let me just try and implement the solution. My battery's a little low. I don't think I'm updating her view at all, which I commented out. Engine viewport background asset. Minus is which direction? Going up. Try this. So she reaches the upper altitude limit, her animation's already invoked, but she's not coming down. She's just frozen. Okay, one step forward. Now I need to invoke the gravity. I have to fix this snapping thing, man. So I'm gonna put a breakpoint on the gravity section, see if that's working properly. I don't like that plus height thing. It's a little bit strange. I know why I did that. I'm accounting for the height of the rect, but again, just a random variable that might not even be correct. So thus I might be messing things up. I'll wrap up the stream soon, guys. It's been over an hour. I'm still stuck. Maybe just let this run. I'll update this line 26, see the results, and then I'll wrap up the stream. I will not be defeated. Oh my goodness. Not sure where my UWP app is. It's taking a minute. We just needed to really take this time. Really should have reset the whole my laptop. I didn't reset it, so it was laggy. Sorry, guys. I apologize a lot for these things. I know my apologizing could get a bit annoying. I'll just make sure that I implement my Visual Studio to be less laggy next time. I'm here now. I'm gonna get rid of this. It made sense when I wrote it. Oh goodness me. Floating there suspended. I'm gonna check my gravity routine. Gravity's being invoked. Engine UWP. This is what we're interested in. 8,000. It's obviously wrong. Now I'll say like 8,022 and a half or something. Oh, I can't see it. Intelligence not counting up. My value is definitely wrong. There we go, 22 and a half. It's not good. So the back end is inconsistent with the visual. So why is collision not going? Why is the visual? One of my flags is tripping up my visuals, I think. Because my visual, it doesn't update because of flags. And let's get rid of all the flags. See what happens. So how do I set a limit for the jump then? Okay guys, my brain's fried. I've been working for a few hours before the stream and now I'm fried, so I'm going to close the stream and I'm going to eat some food. Thanks for tuning in guys, I really appreciate your viewership. I shall tackle this, I shall make more progress off screen. Hopefully I will fix the jump algorithm for next time and we shall continue from where we get to. Alright guys, take care, have a good day, thanks a lot for your viewership, bye. No, I'm not using AI, so this is all hand programmed. Some of the graphics are AI generated and some of the code snippets are AI generated. Just addressing the comment there.